That wasn't that satisfying. Croissants. Croissants are probably one of my top 5 favorite foods in the world. I'm very sensitive to gluten, but I will always make an exception for a vegan croissant and a good New Jersey bagel. Croissants especially, I think I have a really great fondness for because they were my dad's favorite food growing up and we'd always eat them together. And since going vegan, I've always loved trying new vegan croissants because they're a little bit tricky to make. The main thing that you have to switch is obviously the butter and use like a vegan butter alternative. And not all vegan croissants are equal. I've had some pretty bad ones and I've had some really good ones. But one thing about me is if there is a vegan croissant available, I'm probably gonna get it just to try it. So I spent the last week or so picking up all of my favorite croissants in LA. This is something that I've been kind of studying for a very long time. And through trial and error, I present to you my top 4 picks, the best vegan croissants in LA. The first one I'm gonna start with is Ladurée. Now this is a really popular French bakery chain and they're very well known for their macarons and French pastries. One thing that you may not know is that in LA, they actually did a partnership with Matthew Kenny, who's a vegan chef, and they actually went fully plant-based for a short period of time and developed so many delicious pastry options. They had this matcha brunette, which was like a cream-filled croissant. They had a raspberry jam brunette, plain croissants, almond croissants, and even vegan macarons. Since then, it seems like they're no longer fully vegan and they've actually skimmed down on a lot of their vegan options, but they still make amazing vegan pastries. So I highly recommend the plain croissant if they're in stock. I would suggest maybe call ahead just to make sure they have anything vegan available, but the matcha brunette was truly something so special. It was like the most perfect flaky, buttery croissant dough stuffed with this dairy-free matcha cream. I'm obsessed with it. I've talked about it in another video of mine previously. Unfortunately, when I went this time, they only had the raspberry filled one, which was good. It's just not quite the same. The selection is really limited, but I think what I really love and appreciate about Ladurée is that the croissant itself is made beautifully. Like, even though it is plant-based, it's just so nicely done. It's flaky, you can see the perfect layers. I've always appreciated their croissants, so I would highly, highly recommend. I don't think this is fresh, but it smells great and it looks great, and it has just a better structure and a feel than some of the other croissants. Yeah, it's really buttery. There's no like gummy parts, no dense parts. It's all just like very fluffy. I really hope they keep their vegan croissants because they're so good. Number 2 is Chaumont, and this bakery slash cafe is actually just like a few steps away from Ladurée. It's walking distance, also in Beverly Hills. And the backstory to this vegan spot is that they actually had a regular bakery and then opened Chaumont Vegan right next door where they offer all vegan goods. The opening hours are kind of limited though. I think they're only open from Thursday through Sunday, but the selection is pretty incredible. I'm gonna be honest and say they are not the best croissants I've had in terms of just like the quality and the technique and the precision. I find them to be really greasy and almost like overbaked and underbaked at the same time. They can be really dense in the center, and there's always, for some reason, like a pool of grease at the bottom of the croissant. My suspicion is that they're using some kind of vegan butter that doesn't do well at high heat or after it's baked, and so you end up with just like a really greasy croissant. But that being said, they have amazing flavors. They have a matcha croissant, charcoal croissant, almond croissant. I think they had a special chai croissant when I was there. I mean, truly so many options to choose from, and I think that's what I really love about them. So even though the croissants themselves are not perfect, it's really the selection, the fact that you have so many options, which is kind of a rarity when you're vegan sometimes. Definitely worth checking out. They also have lattes and things like that. Go here for the selection, but not so much the best croissant. Don't get me wrong, it's good, it's decent. I would eat it, it's just not my number 1 per se. So you can see it's a little bit more greasy. The first time I ever had it, the bottom was like pulled with oils. Definitely not as nice of like a crumb. They're still flaky and really good. Just like a lot more dense for a croissant. Still very good though. Number 3 is Baker's Bench. It's a tiny little spot in Chinatown. I believe Jen, who owns Baker's Bench, is actually gonna be opening up her own brick and mortar storefront, which will be so exciting because she is so talented when it comes to baking. And her croissants are very well made. From a technical standpoint, I think they're all so beautifully done. She does have extensive experience working in pastry, so obviously her croissants are incredible, but they are mostly vegan. I don't think everything is vegan, but they always have plain croissants that are ready to eat. They're only open from Fridays to Sundays days, and this is the type of place where you want to get there early because she almost always sells out. So get there basically as soon as they open if you want to score a croissant. They also have chocolate croissants. They had an amazing miso tomato croissant the last time I was there, and they also have a furikake croissant, which is like Japanese seaweed mix on top. Really, really, really amazing croissants. This one would probably be up there for like the best technical croissant in my opinion. So definitely worth checking out. And then also you can follow her on Instagram and she'll post like specials of the week. Sometimes they have cinnamon rolls, which if you're lucky enough to get one, you absolutely should. These are so good. And if ever you cannot find any croissants or they're sold out, you can head down the block to Thank You Coffee, also in Chinatown, and they may have leftovers. The last spot is Maru Coffee. This place is not really a bakery or known for anything vegan, but I actually stumbled across their vegan croissants because I always like to look at pastries when I'm at a coffee shop, and they have some of my favorite matcha there. But whenever I'm like ordering something, I try to see if they have anything vegan because who doesn't love a pastry with their morning latte, right? Anyway, they have a couple of vegan croissant options. They have like a tomato galette and a pretzel croissant, and oh my God, the pretzel croissant is so good. It's just so well made. It's not greasy at all, even though it's a croissant. It's like flaky, but bready at the same time. Just a very well-made croissant, and it's got that pretzel element to it, which is a little bit different and unique. Their croissant is so good. I feel like this one is kind of slept on because it's not really advertised as a vegan spot, but you heard it from me first. Go and get their vegan pretzel croissant. They also have an amazing vegan chocolate chip cookie, but that's for another video. So this is what it looks like. Beautiful cross section. Obviously it's not your standard croissant, but I feel like it's a little bit more fun. Ooh, should I do like a tear test? That wasn't that satisfying. Yeah, very good croissant. It just tastes faintly like pretzel. It's not overwhelming. It doesn't have like a burnt flavor like you sometimes get with pretzel, but honestly, this croissant is really good. They also have really good matcha, so if you ever need a quick breakfast or like a bite, grab a vegan croissant and a matcha latte. You won't be upset. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it's helpful if you are looking for a vegan croissant in your life. Highly recommend all the spots that I mentioned. There are obviously other places where you can also get vegan croissants in LA, and I'm so grateful for that. It's incredibly easy to find vegan anything here. But having tried truly so many vegan croissants in LA, these are the 4 that I would recommend with my whole chest. If you've tried any of the ones that I recommended, let me know in the comments below. Or if you have a favorite that I missed, let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'll try it and I'll have to do a part 2. But so far, these 4 are my tried and true, and I hope that you love them too. All right, I'll see you in another video soon. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for watching.